Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, your agent of Aquatic Awesome X7, also the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. Today, as you may guess, we are going to be talking about the wonderful 1984 romantic comedy Splash. It is February. We're headed towards Valentine's Day, or as someone I knew used to call it Single Awareness Day. Someone I know, actually. I still know her. But this is one of my favorite movies. Well, yeah, I mean, top 100 favorite movies. Couldn't tell you what place it was, but it's just a fun movie. And let's just get right into it. We do have a trailer here. Oops. Sorry, that's from Turner Classic. Oh, there's the DVD setup.
Alan Bauer has a very successful business.
Okay, Bauer, you're ruined. You're finished. You're a ghost in this business.
How'd you like some bananas at cost?
Deal.
So that's the start of the trailer. Anyway, the movie starts out with the credits, of course, and we're going to go through some of these pretty quickly. We all know who's starring in it. Eugene Levy, as many younger fans might know from, what's that, Schitt's Creek? There's some other character name in there I remember hearing quite a bit. And then the late John Candy, of course, is wonderful in this, and he really could have been a dramatic actor as well. I mean, there's between every, in every comedian, there's a lot of, sadness, I think. It's a fine line between tragedy and comedy, right? Directed by Opie Cunningham, Ron Howard, and made by Disney. So there's spoiler alert. Oh, let's get this out of the way. There is some slight nudity in here. They managed to cover up most of Daryl Hannah when she's swimming, because as we know, most mermaids, all good mermaids, don't wear tops. That's just how it is. Just look it up in literature or whatever you want to. Anyway, but they cover it up, but every once in a while you see things that, this is PG rated. I don't know if it's PG-13. The DVD doesn't say anything. So, sorry. All right, we start out in a flashback to Cape Cod, where the family is currently on vacation, and there's Freddie, who's a womanizer and probably a felon if he's not careful. He's dropping coins and then looking up women's skirts to see underwear. Little Freddie there is played by Jason Late, and he gets there's a rock and roll band playing. He gets rounded on by his mom, who was played by Nancy Raffa. None of these people have links, so this might have been their only credits. And there is little young Alan Bauer, who is played by David Krieps. And Ralph Bauer there, their dad, is played by Bill Smitrovich. I don't know. So as you can tell, it's definitely a flashback. It's in sepia. And your little dumbass Alan just jumps right over into the water and runs and almost lands on this young thing here in the freezing cold water. A lot of great underwater photography in this movie. I'm not sure who they don't have the cast and crew really listed, but cinematography is by David Peterman, and really well done. This movie was released March 9th, 1984. It runs 111 minutes and is worth every minute. You know how a lot of times I say movies are 10 to 20 minutes too long? Not this one. The budget was $11 million and it grossed almost $70 million. So it was a very successful movie. There they are having fun, but then Dad jumps in and grabs him and leaves Little Mermaid to herself. And then we find out, oh, she's a mermaid. And then we go to New York in 1984. There's the Twin Towers, which is nice that nobody took them out, because sometimes things happen when things happen. Alan's running a successful fruit importing business or something ridiculous, a wholesale fruit and vegetable business in New York City. And there's his older brother. I think it's his older brother, Freddie. Yes, driving a lovely red. That might be a Mustang because they were ugly in 1984. Uh, he's really happy because a letter of his that he never believed would happen got published in a magazine we're just not going to talk name because, well, you can see it right there. It's Penthouse. We'll name it. And he's got all the copies to give to everybody. There's their rather dotty secretary, who's one of the running gags is she's just not quite on the beam. That's Dodie Goodman, and most people will recognize her also from Greece, where she was the receptionist at the high school, who told everyone if you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter, or something like that. Alan's getting dumped by his current girlfriend, and now he's sure that something's broken inside of him and he'll never find love. They're at a wedding, of course, which ends poorly because he's told everyone that she was sick and then just loses it. And they're still giving him wine. He makes a fool of himself twice and decides he wants to go to Cape Cod. And here we meet uh, Eugene Levy as Dr. Walter Kornbluth. And those are his two assistants, probably Daryl and his other brother, Daryl. I can't see what their names are in here. Michelson, maybe? I don't know. But they're very funny because they're not the brightest bulbs because you'll notice this is upside down there. These screen grabs all came from the DVD that I have. I'm surprised this movie has not been released on Blu-ray since it's 41 years old now, which is sad. Kornbluth yells at Alan, thinking he's a rival for his research. He's looking for strange marine animals. Alan ends up getting dropped off. The boat dies. His boatman swims back to shore, just leaves him there to fix it. So now he's sure he's a spy. And Alan attacks the boat. The boat attacks Alan. Down he goes, losing his wallet. Dun dun dun. But somehow he's mysteriously rescued. We don't know why. Well, we do. The whole audience knows why, but Alan doesn't, because who would believe that a mermaid was real? Which brings up lots of questions that we'll have here at by the end of the show.
He's got the wisdom and support of his brother Freddie.
I love this guy. Do you hear me? I love him. Give me a kiss. What's the matter? You too big? Give me your...
Well, here's a bit from them. Well, then he sees this mysterious, beautiful and mysterious woman with that necklace on and wants to know if she rescued him, but she lays a smacker on him. And Daryl's got some guns on her. Oh, there's Daryl and then the two brothers, Larry and Larry? No, anyway. So he turns around and misses the tail, just to make sure we all know what's going on. And goes and finds his wallet. Unfortunately, see the beautiful photography? It's just gorgeous. Clear water. I don't know where this was filmed. Let's see if we can find out. Production. The people who are going to play, this is one of Daryl's first roles. Let's see, the role was turned down by PJ Souls, who was in Rock and Roll High School and Stripes, Tatum O'Neal, Michelle Pfeiffer, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Melanie Griffith, Diane Lane, Kathleen Turner, Sharon Stone, and then Lane had decided to do Streets of Fire in the Cotton Club. Chevy Chase, Dudley Moore, Bill Murray, and John Travolta were considered for the role of Alan Bauer, but they went with Tom Hanks. And I was a fan of Tom's from when he did Bosom Buddies. I was glad to see both of them have the much-deserved success. Wish that show had gone on a couple more seasons because it's great. I wanted to say principal photography was in New York and Gorda Cay Island. That's the Bahamas. There you go. That is not Cape Cod. An isle in the Bahamas since purchased by Disney and renamed Castaway Cay. Oh, good grief. I guess renaming things in the Gulf of Mexico is a thing right now. See, just gorgeous photography. And then Corn Bluth she runs into Corn Bluth, who tries to get his camera up, but she gets away because she can swim really fast with the tail and all, and breathe underwater. So she goes to the wreck, gets up some charts, and finds out where New York City is, and there she goes. So after he gets back, he's got a bandage, and then what is her name? Mrs. Stimler. This is close to a screwball comedy as you're going to get in the in the 80s, because unfortunately you don't get too many of them, and I miss those. But this is pretty much a screwball comedy, almost. It doesn't quite get to that level, but it does a good job. Next day, there's a statue and a naked Daryl Hannah. Daryl Butt, Statue of Liberty. So, of course, she gets arrested. And since she's got Alan's wallet, he runs down there. And deja vu all over again. Daryl's great in this role because she's got to play a wild-eyed ingenue or innocent, but someone who also, obviously she knows how to kiss. So I guess, and there have to be more mermaids somewhere, right? I mean, maybe not a large segment. Are they all female? There's lots of unanswered questions here. And if you think about it too much, like I have, well, watching this as definitely, I haven't watched this movie in probably 10 or 15 years. The DVD was released in 2004. So, I mean, I've had it for a while. I've seen it several times. Alas, I did not get to see it in the theater. This is her back at there. He's given her some clothes now. And then he's trying to go to work and then decides that nothing really happens for the next 2 hours. So figure out they're doing something. And he's singing. Mr. Cucumber or Mr. Pear, I don't know what he's got on his shoulder, dancing with Freddie. And so while he's at work, Daryl decides, or the mermaid, because she doesn't have a name yet, but we might as well just call her Madison because that's what her name is, and decides she needs to go out. She's wearing his clothes, which she looks good in that too. I'll admit it. I think Daryl's a beautiful woman. Definitely, I believe she's been on my free 5 list for at least 2 decades. Whenever dumbass Ross made his. Yeah, there's another reference to Friends. There you go, Lilith. And she gets to Bloomingdale's, and look at all these old televisions. It's just hilarious. I just like this, that they actually used a phone number. I wonder if they had to pay this guy to use it. Well, if they said he'd be in a movie, I bet he didn't mind. So he comes home. She's not there. He's pushed both elevator buttons and is waiting. I mean, just it's not over the top comedy, physical comedy, but it's just funny enough. I mean, it's a very charming movie. There's his doorman, Tony Benedetto, who's making some smart remark, but now she's jazzercise, sweating to the oldies with, well, not the oldies. I don't remember what that song was, but I should have. And they're trying to get her to leave, and she's not a short woman. Yeah. Okay. Shut up. And he tells the guy that she can't speak, and then she says, "Hello, Alan. How was your day?" Can't speak any English. This is where he asks her name, and she replies in mermaid speak, and it shatters all of the television sets, which, I don't know, ultrasonics, maybe. She loves dancing now. And I just kept this in there because, look, The Evil Dead and Extro. I mean, a double feature there. And, of course, another triple feature there. I'd have gone to, I don't know if I'd have seen The Evil Dead or not. I like it enough now. I've seen it once. I've seen the other 2 more often. Anyway, and now we find her name. Good thing they weren't at 149th. And, of course, they threw that in there as a joke, and it has become hugely popular. Where did this scroll down? Boy, that's the legacy of that. The name Madison was the 216th most popular name in the United States for girls in 1990, and the 29th for girls popular name in 1995. Third most in 2000. So, I mean, it was just they thought it was a silly name, and it just took off. So I don't know what it is about mermaid names, but Madison and Ariel, you can always tell what their parents had been watching when these babies were born. And there he's like, okay, Madison, it is. So I'm assuming he paid for everything because it's new clothes and a haircut and crimped hair. And oh, yeah, I forgot. There's a picture back there where he gives her the look. So she has to get in the water every so often, and salt water, so she can return to her natural form. But she's shy. She doesn't want to tell Alan because, And Cornbluth is having more problems with his idiot aides, but you get what you pay for. But then this happens, and he recognizes her. So another cute. Alan gets her a gift, and she thinks it's the box, but it's a music. I don't know. It's musical. And the mermaid there, which will come into play. I used to think this was at Central Park, the skating rink, but it's not. So funny scene here. Freddie's telling him he's in love, and Alan won't admit it, but they're playing. Just John can. I don't know how much he improvised on this, but it's hilarious. He also manages to get hit in the head with the ball while they're playing racquetball. Just one of the funnier scenes. And then, surprise! He's bought it for her. Look at that quilt. Damn it. My sainted mother is a quilter. All right, so they're happy again. They're going out. Cornbluth goes and talks to his old professor, who says, stop wasting your time chasing mermaids and other things. And what are you going to do? Throw water at her? So that's the first victim. He's trying to take a picture. They're skating. Of course, then then the boy meets girl. They fall in love. Then boy does something dumb. So they're apart for a while. Then Cornbluth aims at another one. So this guy broke his arm. And then they find each other, and he's like, well, let's go get married. And first he asked her to marry him after knowing her for 2 days. And, I know you have to have compressed time in movies. And she says she can't. Then she says she will because she'll have to stay with him. She won't be able to go back to her people. I just like that picture. I think it's a beautiful picture. They're at a meeting with the president. Cornbluth is there. He is not having a good week now, is he? The president's there, a bunch of people. She's going to chow down on a lobster by biting it in half. So apparently they eat shellfish I want to say arthropods, but that's not the one I was going for. Anyway. And then finally, Cornbluth, behold, the mermaid. It's a really well done tale. They said who made the tale here. Let's scroll back up. Designed and created by Academy Award-winning visual effects artist Robert Short. So he worked on Beetlejuice. I don't know if he did Beetlejuice. Hannah had been swimming mermaid style with her legs bound together due to her fascination with the Little Mermaid story. But the DJ was very... Well, the cast had lunch. So... Poor thing. Because apparently she couldn't move at all, really. Now, of course, Alan's freaked out, and then they grab him. Well, and thinking he's a mermaid. I forgot to say there was almost full frontal male nudity here. They release him. Freddie says, if none of you are from Penthouse, we're not talking. And she's got a million messages on this little piece of paper. And I'm not exactly sure what she's wearing today. And then Freddie rounds on Alan because he's like, I found love and she's a fish, right? I think that's in the trailer here.
I just want to meet a woman. I want to meet a woman, and I don't want to fall in love. Not much.
And worst of all, Alan Bauer feels with all his heart that he doesn't have one.
Freddie, something in here is not working. There are worse organs not to be working.
When a man's an empty kettle, he should be on his mettle, and yet I'm torn apart. Anyway, that's probably combining two verses. So Madison is not happy, and Cornbluth is not happy because they're going to dissect her, this doofus here, or douchus here. They're like, we're going to take her apart. And he's like, but. So they have a meeting, and he has an internal struggle and realizes maybe he didn't think of how other people would.
Where to? Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
And then, one day, accidentally, from out of the blue, it happens.
Yep. Splash!
Just looking at her is pure ecstasy, a wondrous world of rapture and enchantment. Just one problem stands in his way.
So if you ever hear me say what a week I'm having, he's just jabbed himself with some Novocaine. He was when he got smacked in the face, he broke a tooth. So they decide that he's going to help him because he can get into the American Museum of Natural History. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this looks vaguely familiar to the movie, the library that Ghostbusters go to, but I could be wrong. Okay. Also, there's some anatomically incorrect language coming up. Nobody's going to say it, but
A little secret she's trying to keep all to herself.
There is a mermaid in New York City.
How come she's got legs?
She has legs out of the water. She has fins in the water.
What about a woman showing up naked in a public place, Freddie? Well, I'm bored, of course.
so the guard here has got Swedish descent, so he can speak a little Swedish, and Freddie has to come to the rescue because he watches a lot of Swedish nudie movies. I'm assuming on videotape, maybe on film. Cornblue fakes his way in, making jokes about folding the fish in half and taking her out. And she's so happy.
Can I come in? All my life, I've been waiting for someone, and when I find her, she's a fish. Nobody said love's perfect.
That's such a great. There's so many great lines in this movie. I mean, I highly recommend it. I mean, it's just a feel good movie. And they're happy. She gets her color back, and they leave. They leave Freddie there by his. I mean, I don't know what they could. They told me to arrest him, but I don't know what they could arrest him on. But I mean, they really don't have any jurisdiction to actually hold Madison as a captive. She's a living. She can talk. I mean, yeah. But the army's called out, so they have a lot of resources here to chase one mermaid around throughout New York City. They're zooming around. Cornblue finally decides to be the hero, and he gets to be the hero.
She's really hungry.
Daryl Hannah, Tom Hanks, and John Candy.
You see the trailer at the end.
A fantastic tale about a fantastic tale.
Come on in, the water's fine.
So he's trying to stop but then he realizes it's too late and falls down into I don't even know what that is, but what a week I'm having. It is one of your favorite agent's sayings when some things are either going well or going not so well. That's where that came from. So now they're at the dock. She's saying, I gotta go, I can't stay. And then she says, you can come with me. First he thinks he can come back and visit Freddie. But then she says, you can never come back, which, I hope that he managed to tell Freddie what was going on somehow, message in a bottle or something. But I mean, there are ways around this. He may not be able to get out of the water again, but he could at least, I don't know. So yeah, in the heat of the moment, and when the movie is building to a crescendo here, she jumps down. Excellent dive, way better than there. He finally says, "I can't live without you." As she's waving, he jumps in and can't swim, and he's going to die. But she gives him the smooch of life or water, gives him gills magically. I don't know. They don't say anything. A lot of they just leave a lot to your imagination, I suppose. The divers jump in, and she just beats the crap out of them. She crotches one with her tail, and she's got to be super strong. She's outrageously strong, just as Aquaman. And then they go off, and that's it. So are her people there? She doesn't mention any people. There's got to be more, because where do the little mermaids come from, right? Grown-up mermaids. So, but maybe, there is a sequel, Splash 2, TOO, which I've never seen. Roger Ebert didn't like the movie. Well, that could have been funny. He thought Candy should have been Alan, but I don't know what it could have been. So, yeah, I've never seen Splash 2. Television film. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it might be worth watching. You'd think I would. I do like mermaid movies. We've talked about that previously on this very channel. Set 4 years. Living on a desert highway. I'm bored, blob. I doubt it got very good ratings, but maybe it's not horrible. I should look for it. Doesn't say how it got. Yeah, everything's recast, so. Well, anyway, be that as it may, more underwater photography, and then I just said, well, we don't need to see the end, because it's just credits. Sorry, guys, I appreciate all the work you do, your stuntman, your Foley artist, the guy that gaffs. But, we're not really, we're just reviewing the movie. So it's a love movie, a romance, it's a comedy, it's both. We'll do a couple more of these romantical comedies and throughout the month. Got a set up there, but I hope you've enjoyed this one. And if you do, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I really appreciate it. And until our next assignment, aquatic or otherwise, this is X7 signing off.
Alan Bauer has a very successful business.
Okay, Bauer, you're ruined. You're finished. You're a ghost in this business.
How'd you like some bananas at cost?
Deal.
He's got the wisdom and support of his brother Freddie.
I love this guy. Do you hear me? I love him. Give me a kiss. What's the matter? You too big? Give me your...
I just want to meet a woman. I want to meet a woman, and I want to fall in love. It's not much.
And worst of all, Alan Bauer feels with all his heart that he doesn't have one.
Freddie, something in here is not working.
There are worse organs not to be working.
Where to? Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
And then, one day, accidentally, from out of the blue, it happens. Just looking at her is pure ecstasy. Just touching her is a lifelong fantasy come true. Just being in love with her plunges him into a wondrous world of rapture and enchantment. Just one problem stands in his way. A little secret she's trying to keep all to herself.
There is a mermaid in New York City.
How come she's got legs?
She has legs out of the water. She has fins in the water.
What about a woman showing up naked in a public place, Freddie?
Well, I'm bored, of course.
Can I come in?
No!
All right, let me in.
I'll be right there. I'm just changing.
That girl is a mermaid.
All my life, I've been waiting for someone, and when I find her, she's a fish. Nobody said love's perfect. She's really hungry.
Daryl Hannah, Tom Hanks, and John Candy. Splash, a fantastic tale about a fantastic tale.